Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Samuel Smith's Winter Welcome Ale. This is brewed at Yorkshire's oldest brewery, and it is a British import. And it says, "Blessing of your heart, blessing of your heart, you brew good ale." And that quote is from William Shakespeare. I was not aware. And this is coming in at 6% ABV. Let's go check it out. Edition of Samuel Smith's Winter Welcome. This is a, let's see, what does it say? It is a Winter Welcome Ale. The seasonal beer is limited edition brew for the short days and long nights of winter. The full body resulting from fermentation in stone Yorkshire squares and the luxurious malt character will appeal to a broad range of drinkers. It's balanced against whole-dried Fuggle and Golding hops with nuances and complexity that should be contemplated before an open fire. And this is brewed by Samuel Smith's small traditional British brewery, the oldest brewery in Yorkshire. And it actually says there are horses there, and they take out deliveries 5 days a week. Interesting. So I've liked a lot of Samuel Smith stuff. I thought their oatmeal stout was really good. I've tried their chocolate stout, and it's also really good. So I did not actually see this in the store. My wife did, and she was like, "I know you have tried Samuel Smith. What do you think of this one?" And I was thrilled to give it a try. So let's crack this open. And good amount of carbonation coming right out of the top. And I am using my trusty Guinness glass here. So let's give it a pour. Ooh, and this pours a very, very light color. Let me let that settle for a second. And it says that this is a strong beer coming in at 6% ABV. And it says best before January of 2027. So this must be a relatively, well, I mean, it has to be this year's. This has a very interesting aroma to it. Last Christmas time I was in England and I was sampling some of their beers that they called strong ales. And I was lucky enough that some friends of mine had the beers there also from a couple of local breweries. And there's a distinct aroma to, I think, British ales. There's a yeastiness there. You can smell that. You can smell some of what I've always pictured as sort of like the aromas of the fermentation, that sort of like yeast fermentation. You can't really smell the alcohol, but it's this really nice, almost an orange peel type of hint, like orange zest. Oh, that is really, really a nice bready, thick nose. Only one thing we could do with it. Give it a try. That is very nice. Now, first off, this drinks like a very, very strong lager. So there's a lot of flavor here. There's a lot of depth to the sort of breadiness. There's like layers to it as you go into it. And there is sort of this great sort of mild bitterness to the back of the tongue, which is coming off of, I guess, whatever they were using hops-wise. Let me see what it says. Fuggle and Golding hops. I understand what they mean, that this should be contemplated by a fire. Like, first off, the bottle's big. It's a 500 mil, I think, 550 mil bottle. So this is a pretty big bottle to be polishing off by yourself. That's number one. Number two, there's just this nice sort of basic flavor to this that is warming but not burning my stomach, which has this sort of like homey fresh baked bread type of aroma. And I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here. If you've ever proofed yeast, there's sort of an aroma there. It's here, but there's also this background of sort of that bread being finished and baked, and it's really quite nice. Yeah, this is the perfect beer to sit by a fire, either outside or inside, depending on the weather. And it's definitely a late night beer that you could sit there, some music on. I could just sit there thinking, like, wow, like John Coltrane's Kind of Blue, the album playing in the background, and or maybe Giant Steps, but fireplace going, this in a glass. And I think I definitely used the wrong glass for this. I think I should have used some sort of stemware, because there's definitely a deep sort of bready nose to it that's just so nice. Now, in England, anything I think above 5 is considered like a strong ale. And this comes in at 6. And, this is something I heard while I was in England. I have no idea if that's accurate or not. So, take it with a grain of salt. But I do really think this is a solid beer, very enjoyable, very easy to drink, and definitely one that I would pick up again. And I mean, if you're looking for a good winter ale, I'd jump on this one if I saw it. I don't believe it was expensive. I think for this size 500 ml bottle, it was about $12. So, a relatively, actually no, 12? Or was it 9? It might have been 9. It was somewhere between 9 and 12. I'm sorry, I just cannot remember the price on it because I was not there when it was purchased. But I think it was a little pricier than average, but not like Goose Island prohibitively expensive. But yeah, so let me say it again. Samuel Adams, this is Samuel Smith's Winter Welcome Ale. And this is the 2025-2026 edition. And it is brewed at Yorkshire's oldest brewery. And it actually is just a beautifully put together, very nice, very robust sort of ale with some great flavors. And really, everything they promise, like the homey sort of holiday wintry feel to it, it's all within the beer. And it's one of those beers that I could easily see opening and sharing during, a holiday season or a cold night or a night in front of a fire pit, because it is a really, really nice sort of cold weather ale. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe, throw a comment down below. And I will see you next time. I am going to go tonight, sit in front of the fireplace, and definitely polish this one off. See you all next time. Cheers.